All right, so last video, there was 2 of these. The first one I know was long. This will be a little bit quicker. So when we talk about tangents, that is the original thing that we come up with. So when we're asked anything regarding tangents, we're talking about slope. And that is the original function that you would come up with. But there's another line that's important. It's something called the normal line. So the normal line is a line that is perpendicular to the tangent line. Okay, so when things are perpendicular, the slope of the normal is the opposite reciprocal of the slope of the tangent. So the slopes are opposite reciprocals of each other. So we're going to do one, and these are very popular questions, so I would get comfortable with the wording and understand process-wise in terms of what you have to do. I give these quite often. So it says, write an equation of the tangent and the normal line to the curve f of x equals 4 minus x squared at x equals 1. So before anything can occur, we have to get the slope. In order to get the slope, we're going to use the long formula. So the limit as delta x goes to 0, f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x. Okay, so we have our function right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my thing here. Here's block 1, here's block 2. So when I sub in my x plus delta x, I get 4 minus x plus delta x squared minus 4 minus x squared. Keep in mind you're going to have to FOIL again. So when I do that, let's see. I get 4. When I FOIL, I get x squared, 2x delta x plus delta x squared. So I need to distribute the negative to all of them. Then I have to distribute the negative to the 2 terms in the second bracket. And again, if you did it correctly, everything that does not have a delta x should be going away. Everything that remains should have a delta x because that now allows you to cross 1 from each of them out. And you have the limit as delta x goes to 0 of negative 2x minus delta x. 0 goes in, and you get negative 2x. So again, this is the equation for slope. Equation. Now, in order to get the slope itself, we're given the point at x equals 1. So at x equals 1. So slope would then be negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2. So that's important to note. So now we're being asked to get 2 things, but nothing can happen until you get the actual numerical value for the slope itself. But we have to find the equation of the tangent and we have to find the equation of the normal. So the slope that you encounter when you use this limit formula is always the slope of the tangent. So m equals negative 2. We know that these 2 are perpendicular to each other. So if the slope of the tangent is negative 2, the slope of the normal is the opposite reciprocal, which is 1/2. Anytime you have to put something in y equals mx plus b, you have to not only know the slope, but you also need to know a coordinate. So if we look back up to the beginning directions, we're given x equals 1. So that's part of it. So we know we have a point where x is 1, but we also need to know what y is. So in order to figure out y, what you have to do is you have to sub it back into the original problem. So if we sub 1 back in, we get 4 minus 1, which is 3, which gives us a coordinate of 1, 3. And that same coordinate is what you are going to use to solve both the tangent and the normal. The point should remain the same because they're both happening at the same location. It's just the slope is what's different. Okay, so at this point now we sub everything in. Y is 3, m is negative 2, x is 1, b we don't know. So 3 equals negative 2 plus b, so b is 5. So our tangent is y equals negative 2x plus 5. The slope and the y-intercept, just like in Algebra 1, those are the 2 values that need to be subbed in for sure. You should always have an x and a y. For the normal, same idea. Y is 3. M is now 1/2 times 1 plus b. So we have 3 equals 1/2 plus b. Well, 3 in terms of halves is 6 halves, because 6 divided by 2 is 3. And if we keep common denominators here, which we should, b is equal to 6 halves minus 1 half, which is 5 halves. So the equation of the normal should be y equals 1/2 x plus 5 halves. Please keep in mind when you do these questions, the slope needs to be a number. Many times in the past years, people have left them as an equation. You cannot have x's in your equation. These two values, this one and this one, should only be a number. There should be absolutely no variable associated